listening to Around Comics. 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 You're listening to Around Comics.
From Chicago, this is Around Comics, the comic culture podcast, where we talk about everything in and around the world of comics and comics culture. I'm your host, Mr. Christopher Niesman, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Brian Salazar.
Hey, what's happening? I'm still
Hello,
alive.
sir.
I'm not sick. That's another week.
We have a special guest this evening.
This is not a special guest. He doesn't get that kind of treatment.
Let's open this country up. Let's get started.
Tom is wearing a MAGA hat. He's got the flag behind him. He is ready to
Hell
go.
yeah. Let's get it open.
He's had enough
Back
of this.
from protesting at the Michigan State Capitol.
Hell yeah.
Tom Caters.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, stranger?
Good. Everything you can't see, like from here down, is camo.
You missed
Just camouflage, tactical gear.
You've missed all of our special guests, man.
I know. It's fine because
Yeah.
most of the time, by the time of that end of that night, I'm like catatonic anyway during the week. It's not like I would have had
Much
anything
contribute.
insightful.
Well, the disgusting part about it is that they just come on the show and they want to talk about you.
Oh,
We probably spent Tom King and we probably spent, I don't know, 20 minutes talking about you and Carmine Infantino together.
There's only room for one TK on the show.
I know, that's what we kept telling him.
He was disheartened though. He very much wanted to talk to you. He called you a genius at one point.
Oh wow!
I know. Oh.
Yeah.
High praise.
It's like, can you get Tom versus?
He
Is
should have
that still available?
He should have. It is still available. Everyone out there, I'm paying that Libsyn fee every month.
Oh, it is still okay. I didn't know if you were still.
I should look at the download numbers. Occasionally, there's like a surprising uptick,
Bump in activity.
Yeah, that I'm always like, what happened? That jumped up.
Somebody found it.
It could be in the tens of thousands of downloads in the last month.
Russian bots downloading it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got a lot of that going on.
And
that's mostly our audience, I think. That's mostly who's listening.
Well,
yeah.
And to talk about
April,
bumps and downloads and guests and all that. I saw that Extraction has had like 90 million views.
That's the Around Comics effect.
Exactly.
When you come on this show,
that's obviously what it is.
Next thing you know, your movie's number one.
The ACB, the Around Comics bump.
Yep.
Right.
That's it. At least 30 or 40 of those are because we put them over the 90 million.
Oh yeah.
By 20 or 30 listeners or viewers. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
I liked the movie. It was a fun movie for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was action.
My wife thought
gold.
My wife thought it was a little violent for her taste. She thought it was a little too much, a little ultra violent. But she's a pussy. You know, what are you gonna do? Sorry,
violence is good.
I don't mean that
in
a derogatory way at all.
Yeah. No, I liked it. Yeah, it was good. I liked Hemsworth in it.
I read a funny, like, you know, whenever something comes out and people like it, there's always some tool on the internet.
There's a contrarian.
Yeah, somebody's got to find a way and I think it's just to try and get clicks, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is popular, so I'm going to shit on it, and if nothing else, but the gist...
My most hated, before you say it, my most hated now is 5 reasons why this is awesome.
Yeah,
and 5 reasons why it's not.
It's not.
It's like, come on, really?
I don't even remember where it was at or what paper or whatever it was in, but it was some guy who basically was complaining because based on Chris Hemsworth, his roles in such great movies like Ghostbusters and some other piece of shit movie that he had a tiny little role in that was a comedy.
The Avengers.
No, it was another one where he was not the main. He wasn't a main character. I can't remember what it was, but it was another one where he was like, barely in it. The guy was basically complaining because they were wasting his brilliant comedy timing on an action film.
What?
Like, yeah, the world wants more Chris Hemsworth in Ghostbusters.
Because Extraction, that comedy movie that
I don't know
that everyone's been waiting for.
It's made no sense. It made no sense. It was just silliness. I mean, yeah. What are you gonna do? Everybody wants to see Chris Hemsworth be funny. I guess that's the.
I love funny Chris Hemsworth, but that was not a funny movie.
Yeah. Well, that was the complaint. It wasn't a funny movie, and he should only be in comedies as a minor character, because that's where he's best, evidently.
Everyone's a critic.
I'm just reporting the news. I don't know.
Let's criticize some things.
Oh, all right.
Actually, I want to thank you, Sal.
You're welcome. What'd I do?
Let me grab them. I'm like knee deep.
There's a lot of setup.
In Immortal Hulk
you
comics.
can't go wrong. I'm telling you.
I'm just like, it's the best Hulk I've read since Planet Hulk.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're really fun.
Yeah.
Really good. And I wouldn't say fun. They're fucking dark.
But they are fun too. They are.
But they are kind of they're weird.
Yes.
It's in like very much a like Tales from the Dark Side kind of weird.
They're dark,
fun.
But they're not ultra serious. You know what I mean? And they're goofy. Like they're really weird and out there, and that's why I like them, because they're very much a comic book. Like there's, you know what I mean? Like those, they're not trying to be anything other than out there, bizarre comic book.
Yeah,
that you could.
It is. It's Tales from the Dark Side with the Hulk.
Yeah,
yeah. It's great. I love them.
I wouldn't lie to you, man.
I know. I understand.
So, son of a bitch, you liar! You lied to him. These books are bad.
I would lie to you. I would totally lie.
Yeah, and I also picked up Seeley's Money Shot.
Money Shot. How'd you like that?
That's I just started it, and it's I'm glad that he is splitting writing credits with a woman.
Oh, she's filthy. I mean, it's like her writing, her Instagram and Twitter is very funny, and she's very dirty and sex positive kind of person.
That's what Seeley said, is that like anything that is like obscene or off color is totally her. It's who is it? It's
Sarah Beatty, something like that. Beatty.
Sarah Beatty,
the great grandniece of the Deliverance, Ned Beatty. No,
really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just but we didn't. Well, here's the thing: we didn't talk about it on the podcast because it was like, why bring it up with Tim, because it's nothing to do with him. But she actually got in trouble a while back for before she became whatever she is now. But she said she was an SNL writer. Like, this was years ago. She made the claim that she was a writer on SNL, and she's very funny. Yeah, but she wasn't a writer on SNL. Yeah. And it ended up coming out that she had lied about it and kind of tried to present that. So so I don't know, maybe she is Ned Beatty's
womp womp womp. Yes. Perhaps. So Tom, what's been going on?
Just at home, just trying to keep my kids alive, working, sleeping, drinking and then sleeping.
Drinking.
I've been watching a lot of Star Wars just because I don't want to think. And like,
nice.
just
like
slowly.
old Star Wars or new Star Wars.
It's just a wild mix. Depends on how much I don't want to think or care.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I want to just totally
I don't want
shut
to.
down, you know, like
I don't want to think about these characters at
or
all.
I don't want to think about it.
I don't want to care about them. I don't want to invest.
I've been watching the Clone Wars cartoon now, which is on the higher end of caring.
I just the last episode comes out on May the 4th, of course.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Is it tomorrow that comes out?
That's tomorrow.
I think should I stay up till midnight? I think it releases at midnight tonight.
I mean, not unless you usually do. I feel like
I do not. I am old.
I
am usually in bed by 9:30.
I think it's important to keep your sleep patterns.
Okay.
In
these trying times,
you don't trying times.
Off, too much.
You should try and sleep like how you usually sleep. For me, it means 1 hour a night. With my eyes open, sitting up in a chair, facing the door.
That's normal sleep pattern for you. That's
just normal. My normal tight 1 hour, deep, short sleep. 1 hour, sitting up, facing the door.
There was a professor at SIU, Buckminster Fuller. He invented the geodesic dome, among other things. But he was
shout out.
He did a series of sleep experiments where I want to say for like 3 years he slept 10 minutes at a time. For like a total of like 2.5, 3 hours.
Sounds like some MK Ultra shit there, man. They were fucking. He was dropping acid, living in a biometric dome.
Crazy shit. But he only slept like 10 minutes at a time.
I've heard of that.
Just to prove that it can be done.
Yeah. 10 minutes. I only sleep 10 minutes at a time, probably. Yeah, at night. I'm so.
Well, I sleep 10 minutes at a time, but then I get a good 6 or 7 mixed in there as well.
Going back to Star Wars, the kids and I we watched all the Star Wars episodes in chronological order.
Oh.
In about a week. We banged them out. And we haven't watched the last one. We're waiting until tomorrow. We're going to watch the last one.
It comes out on Disney Plus?
Yeah, on May the 4th. And I got to say, in watching the whole thing in one kind of sitting, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate the ones that I used to hate as much. I kind of liked it more. Like, I kind of liked them a little more watching the whole thing.
It's kind of like when Final Crisis came out and you read it issue to issue and you're like, what the fuck is this?
What is this mess?
And then you read the collected edition and you're like, okay, I kind of get it now.
I think part of it is your initial disappointment in something not being what you think it's going to be is very intense. Yeah. And then over time...
It's like, oh, it's just a movie. Relax.
It fades. It's like, whatever. Like, you can't feel that upset about something.
Yeah. I mean, there were, honestly, at this point, the thing that upset me the most, and it was totally, like, unexpected, but it was a definite reaction I could feel inside my body, was when, when Greedo shot first. That
the McGlunky, the new vision.
Like, it still upset me, but really the fucking horrible dance number that Lucas inserted in Return of the Jedi when they're at fucking Jabba's palace.
We talked about this like maybe a month or two. I had never seen the special edition of that, I don't think. Or I just like had never sat through it.
Right.
And I turned it on. It was like on TV. And that part came up and I was like, what is this?
It's so... I mean, I could physically feel myself be disgusted by it. Like, it was so horrible and so out of place. Just like, why?
So weird. So like not even like what...
And at that point, I had watched 9 fucking movies, I think, or whatever. You know, it's like all 3 of the prequels.
Yeah.
Solo... Rogue One, and then
you did them all.
Oh yeah, everything. The only thing I couldn't get my kids to do is sit down and watch what's his name? Not
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. I was gonna say the mandolin. The mandolin. I couldn't get them to watch the Mandalorian again, like in chronological
order.
Yeah. But
you're gonna read all of these comics that are canon before we go on to the next one.
But I'll tell you what, it was once I kind of, and the prequels could have been pretty good. Like, I get what fucking Lucas was trying to do with it, and the whole trade war thing, and like, he had a tough job of like trying.
The plot is fine.
It is. It's just a mess. It's just, the difference is, like, you watch the first prequel, and I literally was sitting there going, okay, what the fuck is going on? I was trying to figure out the narrative. I was literally like trying to sit there and go, okay, why are they doing this? What are they doing? Why? And I had to go online and read like Wikipedia fucking pages to figure it out. But once it made sense to me, I was like, okay, now I understand why all these people are doing these things. And it sort of worked better. But then you get to like Empire, and they're like, in Empire they explain everything you fucking need to know in a scene. You know what I mean? Like, here's the entire fucking plot setup in one scene. This is everything you need to know. This is why these people are acting this way. This is what they're trying to accomplish. You got it all figured out in the beginning. Like, first 30 seconds, here it is. You know what I mean? But in those movies, there's such a fucking...
the prequel had a lot. It had a much bigger lift because it was the backstory. It was setting up.
Yeah,
all
you're trying to get to that
politics of
point.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot. It's the middle three. I mean, there's not. I mean, they're great, but there's not a ton of story there. It's about the rebellion mounting a last ditch effort to beat the Empire. The first three are. I mean, there's a ton of shit going on.
Right, you're tearing apart a republic and building
Yes.
an empire out of the ashes of it in those three, and at the same time you have this. Yeah, you have it's
The
much more
Anakin story.
complex, but it could have been done a lot better. What I'm saying is, the story itself, like the plot, is fine. It's just the way he decided to tell it was shit. Because he's not a very good director is the problem. He's just not. You know what I mean? He's shown that over and over again. There's other people that take his ideas and do better things with them. But I have to say,
David Filoni. Is it Filoni? Filoni?
Filonius Monk?
Clone Wars. The animated series.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard good things.
Kind of tells the story of all that really, really well.
It's better than any of the prequels. It does everything that the prequels kind of failed to do, which is like make Anakin like a likable character that you kind of like are like, oh, I get like what happens. Or
You
like,
never liked Anakin in the prequel. In the animated series.
because you never had enough time to ever like be like, oh, I get this guy is a hero. Like he's
General Skywalker.
Yeah, he's like a good guy, and he's like other characters like him. Obi-Wan actually does like him.
Mm-hmm.
They're like they're actually friends.
Always a spoiled brat in the movies.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, okay, like I kind of get, but it's interesting because it's like I feel like, and maybe it's just because I've just been sort of like watching a lot of Star Wars that like I feel like I sort of get like what Lucas was trying to do more, even though I didn't really like it. I'm like, that is a singular vision from one person of like, what he wanted to do, know, and it's like, oh, okay, I get it. Like,
I definitely appreciated it more this time around, like sitting through the whole thing start to finish. Even like I really didn't care for the second to last movie, The Last Jedi, not the Rise of Skywalker, but The Last Jedi. Couldn't stand it when I saw it in the theaters, but this time it was like, oh, okay, this was okay. I mean, it wasn't that, there was some shitty parts to it or whatever, but
I just want to see stuff that's not tied to the original trilogy, and Mandalorian gave me hope that that's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's still a great universe to tell stories in.
Yeah, I mean, shit, in the Mandalorian, I still want the Bill Burr, band of fucking misfit thugs just running around the galaxy, getting in trouble and trying to steal shit.
Heist episodes,
yeah,
man.
Just do a whole season.
One heist after another.
Yeah. or one big heist. I don't care, like whatever it is, just
spread it out.
Yeah, 12 episodes, one heist.
Well, also the Mandalorian, they're having that like the making of things coming out tomorrow as well.
They got to push content.
Yeah. But that would be kind of interesting though, because like they did do a lot of really interesting things, like as far as like all the projection screens of like settings and stuff, and like there's a lot of like innovation as far as like how they filmed it.
Because people were saying, like the actors were even saying, like it was amazing the feel that you got when you weren't on a built set, but it felt like you were in that world. Like they couldn't,
or especially when you watch the prequels and you can see the look in everyone's eye of like, I don't know where the fuck I am. I'm like obviously on a green screen, it's like,
where's Jar Jar Binks' head? Where's his eyes supposed to be? I'm
watching these people that are good actors because you've seen them do other things well, and you can just see the look of them being like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like,
it's gotta be hard, man. Like
they're not teaching you this in film school.
Here,
especially in the Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace is just filled with people looking like, "What the fuck am I doing?" Like, poor Ewan McGregor is just like staring into space, just like.
There's the one scene with it's in Phantom Menace. That's the first one, the first prequel, right? Yeah. So like Anakin is trying to put the pod racer together, and like Jar Jar gets his arms stuck.
Oh yeah.
Like and then you have Anna Paquin like walks over to him and like helps him, and it's the most unnecessary scene in a movie ever. Like there's no point. It's not even a good joke, and you can see her like she doesn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like she just and yet
it's just a very Lucas. Yes. It's like we're gonna have all this stuff in here, and no one's gonna tell me not to have like.
No one can tell me no.
This dumb joke where Jar Jar's tongue gets electrocuted, and it's like his mouth is numb, and it's like we're gonna take 30 seconds to
tell this one
precious screen.
Like, what are we doing?
George, that just cost us $800,000.
Yeah.
But in all of those movies, like you said, the disappointment fades, and there is something in each one. There's always something that I like rewatching again. Even if it's like the actual pod race
is great. Yeah.
There's like things in all of them that I'm like, that's pretty cool.
And that, kids, is why not a whole lot of people were really upset whenever he decided to sell to Disney.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Let somebody else play in the sandbox. I did the one. Well, the two things that it kind of reminded me that it is a bunch of movies made for kids. At the end of the day, you kind of forget that these are kids' movies, really. Mm-hmm. And it's like my kids love Jar Jar Binks. Even today, my 17 and 14-year-old, they thought he was hilarious and loved Jar Jar as much as I hated him. And
it's the terrible, weird ass accent.
I get it, but they don't care. They didn't. that didn't bother them. And then Return of the Jedi is their favorite of the movies. They think Return of the Jedi is the best. And I loved that movie as a kid.
I love Jedi.
Yeah, I do too. But it gets shit on because of the Ewoks, and it's like, and because of
the Ewok, come on.
I know. Ewoks. People are always like, Empire's the best of the.
Well, it is.
Is it though? I mean, it's the best.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie, but is it any better than Jedi? I mean, there's more in Jedi than there is in.
I think it's the only one where the actors get any time to like do anything interesting. Really, most of the time they're kind of like zipping around through stuff so quick.
But once again, it's a more serious movie.
Yeah.
Do we like it because it's more of a movie made for adults?
Yes.
But that's
where
really
all the character development happened.
I liked it as a kid because it had swamp creatures in it, and I always loved swamp.
Just a big fan of swamps.
Cloud City, Lando Calrissian's outfits,
how just you doing,
everything.
Chewbacca? You truly do belong here among us in the clouds. What have we here?
Exactly.
Oh God, you got him going on Billy D. Williams.
Oh, Billy D. Williams, he's just the best. Come on, how you doing, Han? Hey, Han. Han. He didn't give a shit what anybody's Chewbacca. Hey, how you doing, Chewbacca? He didn't fucking care what their names were. He had his own names.
Here we go.
It was awesome.
It's great. My favorite Star Wars toy when I was a kid was the Chewbacca with the C-3PO on his back, the one where he's like all busted apart.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like the carrying like the reverse.
Also, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, ESB for those in the. No, use the acronyms. But yeah, so basically in these uncertain times, I've been digesting entertainment comfort food. So
nice.
Like we now no longer, my wife's like, we're not going to watch anything like sad or depressing. It's like, no, I'm prefer not.
I understand.
I've been watching
not to get into that.
I've been watching heist.
We watch the Great British Baking Show every day.
Oh God,
that's great. It's great. I love it.
They're so
nice. Everyone's so nice.
They are so nice. No, it's not even a competition.
Nice it's just like, oh, I did mess that one up. I deserve to. It's like, oh,
all right. Yeah.
Not a good day for me. Yeah, not a good day.
Cheerio. Just off.
They're making like a whole chocolate castle, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like, an American version, just like make the biggest pan of fudge you can make,
and put bacon in it. Just like, how much bacon can you fit in these cookies?
Fudge platter.
Bacon tequila fudge.
Sounds delicious.
Mm-mm. And we're gonna listen to Jimmy Buffett while we bake it.
And the British one, they're like making like 17th century cake.
Profiteroles.
Yeah, it's some fucking cake you've never heard of. Like,
heard of,
what?
Yeah.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
You have to make an actual functioning well. I think was in one of them where they had to build like a little well that you
had to
drop the bucket in chocolate. To get like caramel at the bottom, and it was just like, I was like, damn, what is going on in this show?
Have you guys ever seen that one? I don't know if there's more than one season of it, but it's like Zombo's. It's a dude who's like a confectionery specialist, bald guy, and it's like Zombo, Zombo or something like that, and it's basically like super high end. It's a contest, but it's like super high end chocolates and candy and cakes and baked stuff. And the one was you had to replicate one of his things, and it was a Willy Wonka inspired confectionery. Basically, it was a chocolate hat that you would then pour hot chocolate on,
and it reveals,
like a whole nother fucking thing inside of it. Yeah, it was amazing. It's just like, and it hovered above the plate, so it was a magic hat that levitated above the plate, and then you poured the chocolate. Yeah, it was amazing. It was unbelievable.
It's fucking crazy.
I'm like, who has time to come up with this shit?
Give me my fudge.
Give me some bacon fudge, motherfucker. I just want some
America Fudge Contest.
American Fudge. This week on American Fudge.
After Below Deck.
Walnuts.
Marta watches Below Deck. Drives me nuts.
What is that?
I just call it horrible.
What is Below Deck?
Horrible things to horrible people.
What is American? What is American Fudge? What is Below Deck?
It is a reality TV show following the crew of charter yachts.
Mm.
And it is exactly that exciting.
I never talked to the crew on a chartered yacht. That's just a mistake.
Yeah.
You're just setting yourself up.
Yeah.
Bad things.
It's awful. I have been watching now that we're talking about reality TV shows, because I know that Tom loved Project Runway back in the day.
I know where you're going, and I love the making the cut on Amazon.
Making the cut. Are you done? Have you watched all of it?
I haven't watched all of it. My favorite thing about it is it's like, what if we did Project Runway, but we just dropped a ton of money on it and just made everything better. Like everything looks good. Like we got expensive cameramen, we got expensive cameras.
We're doing a runway show right outside of the Eiffel Tower. Now we're going to Tokyo.
All the design stuff looks amazing. Everything looks great. We have it's like you see all that Amazon money just like dripping off the screen when it's like,
what is it called?
Making the cut.
Oh, I don't think I've ever
It's
heard
with
of
Tim Gunn and Heidi Klum. It's their new design show competition, but it's on Amazon. And so like each week, the winner of that week's design competition, their winning design is featured on the Making the Cut store at Amazon. So
I think in these troubled times, I don't look down upon anyone who wants to just watch British people bake and relax. Perhaps enjoy some legal marijuana and just watch 2 hours of baking. Just low stakes, very relaxing. Like nothing bad's gonna happen to anybody.
That sounds delightful. Like, I mean, not in my TV shows and stuff, but I limit any kind of news that I absorb right now. I limit how much time I spend online because like Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, they're horrible.
Oh, it's the worst. And so it's like, I can feel myself like my anxiety just rising whenever I go online. So I've just, I definitely have limited and lots of legal marijuana products for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
What's wrong with you, Wisconsin?
What's wrong?
Yeah, get on the.
You got time? I got a list of things that are wrong with Wisconsin.
Yeah.
It's Tom's fault. I blame Tom.
It's a real shame. People like me kept leaving.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Should have stuck around. Would have been.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Skip that scale back the other way.
Well, we had Nazis in Illinois over the weekend, so that was nice.
Oh.
Illinois Nazis protesting.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
Yeah, who doesn't? Who likes them? But yeah,
well, open it up. That's all I gotta say.
Tom's had it.
Time to get back. Time to get back to work.
Chris Marshall's on the YouTube stream. He's watching. Yeah, he's watching.
Chris Marshall.
Say hi.
Ask us a question, Chris.
God damn it, Chris! Do something.
When this country finally opens up, what's the first place you're gonna go?
I'm going to the American Fudge store, motherfucker. That's where I'm going.
I'm gonna go to American Fudge. I'm gonna get
I'm getting some
my Stars and Stripes fudge platter.
It's you got your rib fudge, your rib flavored fudge is the red, and then your blueberry pie fudge is the blue.
Can't wait,
and then white chocolate is the stars, and then and that's it.
Yeah,
American Fudge. God damn it. We're Chris Marshall said, hey. Still no question from Chris Marshall. We're waiting for a question, Chris Marshall.
Worthless.
Help us out here, God damn it.
We need people need content. You guys want to see me bake?
We're talking.
I just
make some fudge. I don't want to see any periwinkle goddamn truffles. No, what do they call that? What's the one thing? I always think it's a weird name for a dessert, or it's not a weird name, but it's oddly named.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
I know it's like a parfait, but it's like a
federal.
No, it's a layer of like sponge cake, and then a layer of cream or fruit, and then another layer of cake, and another. It's like it's not a truffle. It's a trifle. That's what
trifle.
It is. A trifle.
Trifle.
They're delicious, but it's such an odd name, like a trifle.
It just makes me think of trifling bitches.
Right? It's what I was. Yeah, exactly. Of course.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's the thing I think of. So.
Trifling ass bitches. Yeah, I don't know. That's all I got. Oh, I've been. What else have I been watching? Heist movie. I've been watching heist movies. I watched Rafifi. You ever seen that movie? It's a French.
I don't know who you are anymore. He's watching The Crown. He's watching French art movies.
It's not an art movie. It's not an art movie. Actually, it's a 50, I think it was made in the 50s. It's a black and white movie. It's French, but it's a crime movie. It's a heist movie, and it's made by an American expatriate. He was a director. I can't think of his name, but he was a director here in the United States, and he got blackballed during the
Roman Polanski.
No, it wasn't Roman Polanski.
No, during the Red Scare.
Yeah, and went to France.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and made this sort of low budget crime movie. It's really good, and it's kind of been regarded as like one of the best heist movies ever. But it was good. I liked it. It was, it's different because it's in the 50s, and like the hero, if you call him that, is like you meet him. He got out of jail. He comes home. He runs into his girlfriend, and he beats her with a belt, and then kicks her out. Like, yikes! Okay, this is an interesting movie, But yeah, he's not a nice guy. None of them are nice guys. They're criminals. God damn it! They're French.
What's the first episode of Perpetual Grace on the Epics?
The Epics. I still haven't.
It's got Ben Kingsley and the guy who played Mary on Psych. Also the guy who played Westworld. He's been on a bunch of other stuff. I forget his name. He's very good though. Enjoyed it. It's quirky. It's weird. I liked it.
I still have not watched. You wanted me to watch the War of the Worlds on Epics.
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either. It's like
you to watch it.
I'm making you the.
I'm not gonna watch it.
You're the canary in the coal mine. I want you to let me know if it's safe to go in or not.
I don't know if I want to watch it right now. Like this is
Yeah, I mean it's not the time for like end of the world sort of like.
Yeah, apocalyptic.
Here's to kind of bring it back to like comics and pop culture and whatnot. Do you think that after this that we will finally have our zombie fix taken care of?
No, I think that's the problem we have right now. We have all these fucking protesters because they are pissed off because they didn't get the apocalypse they were promised. Like they didn't get to shoot.
I haven't shot anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. It's not like fast. Like, we have to like sit around and wait.
Right.
Yeah. They're not shooting, out the windows of their house.
They're not shooting their neighbors in the face. That's what they really want. All these fucking preppers, that's what they really want. They're just hoping that at some point they get to shoot their neighbors in the face. I understand it to some degree. I can
shoot a zombie, make your 14 pounds of macaroni and cheese when you're in giant buckets.
Jim Baker bucket food.
Go on your day, goddammit.
Get your Jim Baker bucket food and just finally I get to just shoot other people.
Yeah. Make some fudge in a bucket.
I open up my first 50-pound package of American Fudge survivalist candy.
American Fudge survivalist candy. Packed now with protein.
This is the apocalypse that I was promised.
You can live on American Fudge for up to 2 years. Got everything you need.
This episode brought to you by American Fudge.
Fudge.
Fuck yeah, fudge.
I'm gonna look to see. There's probably a company called American Fudge, and
I'll guarantee you
this is gonna cause a huge problem for them.
I don't know.
Unless they're exactly what we're talking.
Hey guys, American Fudge is available.
All right, let's get it.
Reserve it.
AmericanFudge.com.
AmericanFudge.com.
The fucked up thing is we'd probably make a fortune.
I'm in.
Celebrate your freedom.
Great. Oh wait, there is a Great American Fudge company though. GreatAmericanFudge.com.
Just America. Why put the great? Just make it American Fudge.
Yeah, because America is great.
They buried the headline.
We don't,
idiots.
Oh no, guys! I was gonna make a joke about Freedom Fudge, but that is a thing. Oh wait, Freedom Fudge is actually seems to be a marijuana infused product.
Oh well, that's okay. That's all right too.
What about Liberty Fudge?
Fucking
live
fudge.
free or die fudge.
No commie fudge here, man.
Hey guys, live free or die fudge is open.
Chris Marshall said that there are no Nazis here in Michigan, but we do have guns. And he asked us if we saw Extraction or Triple Frontier. Both are really good. We talked about Extraction earlier.
No, Chris, we haven't seen it, and we're gonna watch that right after we watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which we haven't seen either. Obviously, has not been listening. Yes.
Yeah. God damn it, Chris! How dare you? How dare you, sir?
They got the Around Comics bump.
It did. Why do you think it's number one on Netflix? If we talk about
90 million viewers, Chris, what do you think?
Yeah.
You're welcome, Andy.
Do you think
it's not an accident, you know?
Do you think this is going to change things for Andy Parks? Like, because it's not like it's a film in a theater that's getting like huge ticket sales. I don't think you get. I mean, I have no idea the realities of having a movie on Netflix, but from what I've been able to glean off of people talking about it, I don't think it matters how many people fucking watch it. You get paid what you get paid from Netflix.
He said he's already made his money on it whenever we had him on. So it's high profile. Hopefully it leads to other jobs.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Like for him, maybe, Hollywood comes calling or someone, it leads to other work to have a super successful movie made off of a graphic novel of yours. Hopefully. Andy does, he's a guy that, he's been
deserves it.
He does. He's been working hard in this industry for a long time, and it's cool to see. It's so neat to see this shit. We've talked about this before, but it never gets old to see people go and do this kind of awesome stuff.
Get that sweet streaming money. Woo! Turn on the faucet.
That's the only money. That's the only money going right now.
Back up the truck.
Back up that streaming truck.
Chris Marshall said, "Sorry, I have my own podcast to take care of."
Oh,
so
wow.
It's okay, Chris. We love you.
I've just been playing Extraction in the background for 4 days straight. I'm not even watching it, just constantly playing it on.
It's giving Andy as many views as possible. Good Lord, this guy in Illinois watched it 75 times this week. He fucking loves this movie.
Are you okay? I just have that pop up on. Are you okay? Play it again.
Are you still watching? We always
Google, play Extraction again.
Continuous loop.
We always make fun of each other, my daughter and I. It's like an inside joke whenever we're watching a Netflix show and that thing comes up. Are you still watching? She'll either go to me or I'll go to her. It's like, still watching, fatty? Are you still sitting on the couch there, fat ass? Not getting up?
Nope.
Nope. Just next episode, please. Thank you.
Yes. Still painted to that couch, are you?
Pretty much.
Should I go get some more Oreos for you?
Hey, I did some manly shit today. I built some stairs.
Nice.
Yeah, I put in stairs with glue and nails and stained it.
How many?
5 stairs and 6 risers.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then I had some fudge.
I was gonna say, did you have fudge
my
afterwards?
maple bacon fudge sticks?
Maple bacon fudge sticks. Hell yeah! Nothing gets me
along with the 5 steps. I installed a tactical turret that gives me full view of any approach to the back door.
The steps fold down. I hit one button. They fold down.
Fold down.
Like a ramp. And I just slide down into the basement into my...
There's a small bucket of hot oil to pour on anyone trying to climb.
I learned that from watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah. These are tactical stairs.
Everything's tactical in my house.
Everything's tactical.
Tactical carpet. My dog's tactical. my bathroom.
Yeah.
Tactical toilet paper.
Yeah. America.
Fuck yeah.
We have made our way to the tactical toilet paper. We've gotten down to like the prison toilet paper that we had at one point.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
Your ass will never forgive you.
Here. Yeah.
We've been fine with toilet paper. The first couple of weeks it was a little scarce, but now you can kind of go and get it wherever. I mean, it's not like abundant, but you could definitely go get a 12-pack if you need it, you know.
All those offices got all the toilet paper, man.
Yeah.
Went to Whole Foods the other day. No frozen vegetables. Completely sold out of frozen vegetables.
Peanut butter's been tough. Natural peanut butter. I don't know. Whatever. Who needs frozen vegetables? What do you
I was
but
making
you can get fresh
salad,
ones.
Man.
You can get fresh vegetables. You just can't get the frozen ones.
Yeah, it's weird. So,
I don't want to.
Everyone's lost their goddamn minds. So Sal, you told me you've been like reading like old Batman comics.
I have, and I forgot to bring it down here.
I see like all those. Looks like you're reading all like the essentials and showcases there.
Yeah, I went back and grabbed a bunch of dug these out, my showcases out of the. Where's the out of
storage?
The, storage, yeah, in cold storage. I had them in cold storage.
Right between your 25 pounds of rice.
Yeah, exactly. My
800 rounds of hollow point ram.
He had them packed in frozen vegetables from Wisconsin.
Hell yeah. You got to be prepared, man. You can't fuck around.
I got 18 copies of these showcases.
I might need them as TP at some point. I might have to use a showcase. Just wrinkle that shit up. You never know.
Some of those showcases, that's what they're worth.
Listen, this is let's see what we got here. Oh hell, this story. This is I don't even know who did this. Some bullshit fucking Carmine Infantino. What? No. This is Justice League of America for sale. The Justice League for sale. Yeah, fuck that. Just rip that out and wipe your ass with it. That's fuck it. What's the point?
So Tom, we were talking to Tom King last week, and the subject of a lot of Gardner Fox comics came up.
Yeah, well,
and it was like, yeah, Tom
I'll
has
right
read
back.
a lot of Gardner Fox comics.
Everyone, yeah. I mean, Gardner Fox wrote a lot of them, and you can tell. You seem to run out of steam.
Yeah, I think you said it's you could take any word balloon in
Just
any
switch
Gardner
them up,
Fox and just switch them between characters. Does not change the story at all.
At all. Nothing. Does not matter. No character has any actual character. Just...
Yes. Green Lantern and Hawkman and the Atom, they all say that they are the same character.
Yes, very much so. Much respect to Gardner Fox, obviously. But
Tom said that he was kind of the guy that at the time this is not how Tom said it, but basically what you got was that Gardner Fox was the guy that they could tell to do something and he'd be like, okay.
Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll spit one of those out.
He was not going to fight with Julie Schwartz on anything. And it's like, yep, he would go and write it. So,
well, you think about it, he had his whole Silver Age career, you know, like his whole Golden Age career. Like he did that, you know, worked through the whole like superhero comics aren't a thing anymore, and then by the time the Silver Age comes around, what does he care? Like he already did it.
We're just making comics for the kids here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, right? Like,
what do you mean characterization?
Yeah, I don't got
They're
time
good
for
guys.
What do you mean?
They're bad guys.
Who cares? It's for 7-year-olds.
Pretty much. Oh, which speaking of, whenever you bring that up, we talked to Denny O'Neil back in the day, and Denny O'Neil said that was, you know, he was writing Batman at a time when he started. It was basically you wrote 3 issues, and then you basically could reinvent everything again, because it was like 10 to 12-year-olds that were reading Batman, and they knew that you had about 2 years of readership and it would turn over. Today is Denny O'Neil's birthday, so happy birthday, Denny O'Neil.
Happy birthday.
So that's a guy that really kind of changed and was there from, the change of writing for 10 to 12-year-olds to really the more adult, college age and older.
Does anyone call Denny O'Neil the Don? D-O-N?
The Don.
The Don.
They should.
They should. They don't. They should.
All right, we're gonna do that.
Yes. Denny O'Neil from
birthday shout out to the Don, the D-O-N, Denny O'Neil.
Comics.
From St. Louis, Missouri.
Yep.
He went to high school with he went to the same high school as Steve Gerber, and he went to high school with Mike Shannon, who is the play-by-play announcer for the Cardinals.
Interesting.
Yep.
Chris Marshall said, Tom, I finally got around to reading Legion of Superheroes from the very beginning. There's a major lack of trust between these bratty teenagers.
Oh, yeah. They don't like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Listen, in the future, you'd think maybe they'd have a better plan than, like, let's give all this authority to a bunch of teenagers. But no, they don't. The teenagers just argue amongst each other.
Well, that's kind of what teenagers do, though.
That's what they do. What'd you expect?
Well, I was going
to... I'm up for any plan at this point.
Yeah.
When you guys were talking about Anakin being unlikable, it's like, well, he's basically a moody teenager. Like, they're not likable. Like, if you're 23 or older, you don't like they're not fun to be around.
I don't like young people at all.
No. Well, you're just tired of your kids.
Yeah. Just awful. They're all awful.
Yes.
With their TikTok dances. And there. Whatever app I don't even know about that they're.
I love how
shit.
When we started this whole thing, Tom was so full of life, and
everyone's got to see me age.
To see that he is old man yells at cloud now.
Yeah, just like
yells at TikTok.
Back when yells at TikTok.
Back when Twitter was only 140 characters, you had to say what you had to say quick.
You didn't fuck around.
You didn't mess around.
Meander with your typing
and doing some sort of viral dance, whatever that means, on Twitter.
I had to warn my kids about TikTok. I'm like, shit. I don't think you want to get involved too much. They both have TikTok on their phones. They don't produce any content for it.
No.
They just watch stupid shit on it. But it's like, I don't know how I feel.
My kids and I use TikTok to edit videos that they like to play around with. We don't actually post anything, but we
just use the editing software.
They just like the editing and like, I'm going twice as fast. Yeah, I mean, they like that. I mean, they're stupid kids. They don't give a shit.
It's easy to.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean,
my
son would love a Gardner Fox story.
Here, son, read some old Green Lantern.
Read some. Here's an old Gardner Fox.
Hal Jordan, an insurance salesman.
This is great. This is great. They all sound the same. It's not confusing.
It was a little. We didn't get into it with Tom King too much. But like his perspective on what the Gardner Fox stuff, but just the whole like sort of white, square-jawed British imperialism thing was an interesting conversation. The idea of all those movies and books and every superhero of that era, every pulp hero of that era was the same sort of thing. But it's. And it's interesting to see what he's doing with that now in comics and sort of, deconstructing that and looking at it with a different perspective and sort of going, this wasn't necessarily a good thing. These or even a true thing, if you kind of look at like Strange Adventure seems to be, going to do that specifically. But It's also a little sad, like, that you can't look at those stories and just sort of go, oh, Lawrence of Arabia is a good movie. Like, it's a good movie. Like, do we have to necessarily look at it in the context of modern sensibilities and deconstruct it in that way and go, well, but it's, horseshit, or it was British imperialism, it was appropriation.
I mean, all art goes through that. I mean, it just so happens movies are more recent, but everything gets put through the ringer eventually.
Yeah.
Whether or not like it has enough value to survive whatever people think of it in 200 years or whatever people think of it in 300, like
right, what will survive and what.
I mean,
that's a good point.
It happens with comics too. I mean, I dare you to go back and read old Tintin comics and not be offended.
Don't dare me. I'll fucking do
it. A lot of the Spirit stuff, a lot of Eisner's Spirit comics, can be a hard read for a lot of reasons. And not just in how they were, written. It's the actual content.
I'm gonna be. Have either of you seen? They just released a preview, I think, of Lovecraft Country. It's a new show on HBO.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele is an executive producer, and it's based
He's
on
like Mr. Horror all of a sudden. I love it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like sort of racism in Jim Brown era America, but
Jim Crow.
Or yes, Jim Brown era, Jim Crow.
Jim Brown was around during Jim Crow.
Yeah,
so that's
same era. Jim Crow era. But also then like Lovecraftian horror, which will be interesting because, there's been a lot of sort of examination of Lovecraft and his own, sort of racism and, isolationism that it's complicated. H.P. Lovecraft, as a person is complicated, to not look at his stuff. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, because I think it's very intentional that they're using his stuff in that way. So that's going to be an interesting, I don't know, look. I guess we'll see what they do with it. I love everything, but but it's like that thing of like I love everything that is Lovecraftian more so than I love like Lovecraft's original stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like his original stuff is there's a charm to it, but
it's also kind of,
it's a little hard to get through sometimes, and it but the concept that he came up with is phenomenal, and I love the stuff that has grown out of that more than I necessarily love the original stories.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we are about, honest to God, that's how we are about most comics.
True.
Let's go back and read the original stuff. And
this shit is hard to fucking read. I'm sorry,
really hard to read.
It's really hard to get through, and I'm trying to like have a certain perspective of it, of like trying to enjoy it on another level, because I know I can't necessarily enjoy it.
Try to read EC comics. That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, the art in this there's some great art.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not meant to be, it's hard with those, like, damn, dude, 500 pages of that is a lot of, like, the same shit over and over again, Like, it wasn't built that way, Like, it wasn't... It's, like, a very modern way of consuming something. It's like, here's a big fucking chunk of it that, like... Here you go, completist. Now you can read all of these. It's like no one ever thought anyone would give a shit about any of these stories 12 months after they, right? Like it was
for sure. Well, there was a thing going on Twitter. I saw. I think Mark Miller kind of started it or perpetuated it. It was like people posting pictures of their shelf of a particular set of trades, and like their anger because not all the bindings had the same fucking trade treatment. And it's like, are you like, when does it get to that? Like, on what level of, do you need that to enjoy? Like, how far removed from the fucking stories are you that's what's bothering you about them? I
mean, I think I've always loved the essentials and the showcases, because I think they're a way for people to affordably read stuff that they'd have no like reasonable access to, like in a way, like not all of them are great. Some of them are. I mean, some of them are always like surprisingly like, oh, like this is really interesting. And some of them are like, oh, Jesus, like.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to find the ones that I'm like, oh, this is still a really good story. Like, this is still a really good Batman.
Well, out of the showcase stuff?
Yeah.
Jonah Hex.
No, but I'm like, I want to read I want to read old Batman. I want to read old Justice League. I want to read old Superman. Just to do it. I mean, because I
have to look at where they've actually gotten with the showcases, because to me, like, the Justice League gets more interesting when I'll have to look up when Justice League.
When does Justice League get interesting? That's Google. When does Justice League?
Hey Google.
Like, once it gets into the one, I want to say like the 110s is my like guess off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'm just confirming that, but I'm just trying to remember when it starts to get, like right around when it gets to like the 100-page ones, it starts to get a little more.
I'm trying to see what this is. This starts out with like Detective Comics 327, and then Batman 164. So it's a lot of the 60s, mid 60s stuff.
Yeah.
Is this. Yeah. So it's okay, but it's very much like, you can tell they're emulating the TV show to some degree. It's very much Batman and Robin, the dynamic duo.
It was the Bang Pow era.
A little bit. I mean, not real bad in that way, but
who are the creators that really kind of came in? We talked about Denny O'Neil earlier. I mean, you'd have to say Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil. Who are the other creators?
Before that, you had oh god, who was before those guys that I really like? I can't think of his name, especially the artist. Right before Denny O'Neil was writing, god damn it, I'll look it up.
Because you had those guys, and then you had Roy Thomas over at Marvel, who was kind of moving things on into that next kind of the Bronze Age.
Jim Aparo.
Oh, Aparo, sure.
One of my favorite Batman artists. I actually like his stuff more than I like Neil Adams' stuff.
Really?
It was darker. It was more.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Aparo's great.
I just like the look of Batman that he did.
Did he have the big ears?
Yeah.
Aparo had like the
bigger ears. It was kind of. I mean, I think you might, like, a lot of people might actually have a hard time distinguishing between his Batman and Neil Adams initially. They're kind of similar, I think, to some degree. But Aparo, like, he went from like the time period where Batman was very silly into the much darker kind of thing, but Denny O'Neil was really the one that changed the writing, of that, I think. From what I can remember, what I can tell.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like who wrote the stuff whenever I mean, because Neil Adams didn't pencil a whole lot of Batman interiors. He did a shit ton of covers. He didn't do a ton of interiors. It's not as much as people think that he did. I'm trying to think. Was it Denny O'Neil who was writing most of that?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
it's like the whole Ra's al Ghul stuff. You know, it's and you look.
That was a graphic novel, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't that the graphic novel that they had done? The Ra's al Ghul, the head of the demon. Wasn't
no, those were. I mean, these ran in the Batman ongoing.
I was gonna say I've done some Justice League research. When Steve Englehart starts writing Justice League at like 140 is like kind of when I think like it gets good. There's some stuff before that, like Carrie Bates wrote a bunch of stuff, but the Steve Englehart stuff is I don't even know if that's collected anywhere, but that's like in my perception when it's like, oh, okay, this is like very like interesting Bronze Agey.
Oh, by the way, Tom King wants us to go back to doing Comics 101 episodes.
That's Tom's thing. That's catered. That's all caters.
I'll just start with Steve Englehart Justice League. It'll give me a reason to read old Justice League issues.
There we go.
There you go.
We'll do a new Justice League 101. Steve Englehart 101.
Ooh,
I mean, he only did it for 11 issues, but it was like actually interesting.
If you do Steve Englehart Justice League, I will do Neil Adams, Roy Thomas X-Men.
Oh my goodness.
I will challenge you.
Listen to both of you.
We will do Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four.
I could do that.
That would actually be fun.
That'd be kind of fun.
There, that's a challenge. Okay, I'll start.
God.
Yep.
I don't have any time for this. I got a new Dungeons and Dragons game that I'm joining.
Oh shit! I'm in on. I'm doing some. I'm doing also some role playing games. We're doing a
Vampire
wrestling role playing.
You're what?
Wrestling. Worldwide Wrestling. It's a role-playing game.
No way.
Yeah.
Nice. So you get to be a wrestler? You have to make up a wrestler?
Yeah, you got to make up a wrestler.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's interesting.
I'm reading a book called The Death of the Territories. It's basically all about how Vince McMahon destroyed the wrestling industry but and made the WWE or WWF at the time. It's a kind of interesting story of how he, like, there was all these territories all over the country and they sort of had their own area, and that was their wrestling promotion, kind of controlled, whether it was Pittsburgh or whether it was the West Coast or whatever. And then Vince McMahon just kind of came in and said, nah, fuck this.
He Starbucksed them.
Yeah, he just took over everything, and but they kind of did it to themselves, but it's an interesting book. It's
sure.
I don't know why I got into that.
Speaking of assignments and interesting books, I just want to remind everyone that we are currently reading Coffin Bound. This was Sal's pick.
I'm sorry.
So we'll probably talk about that sometime in the next month.
Probably.
Yeah. So pick it up. I ordered it through Amazon.
I've read about half of it.
Yep. So you got a couple more weeks. Tom is just like, I was not aware of this. You missed our Little Bird discussion.
Yeah, I liked Little Bird.
Okay. And that was Tom's contribution to our Little Bird discussion.
It was good. I liked it.
I'll edit that in. I liked it.
I liked it.
It was good.
I liked it.
So tell me more about this wrestling RPG. I want to know the mechanics of it. I want to know how.
So like it's like broken down into like, I mean, we're just starting, so I wouldn't consider myself an expert.
So do you have to pick like a class, kind of like?
Yeah, you have like different types of
brute.
Yeah,
Striker.
It's called Worldwide Wrestling, the role-playing game. The second volume was just kickstarted.
This actually sounds kind of awesome.
Yeah, look it up. It's great. Like, there's different classes of characters. I'm just trying to find some like the actual examples, you know, of like you could be like the anti-hero who doesn't play by the rules, or the hardcore wrestler,
chaotic evil,
or the jobber, or the monster, or the golden boy. And like the idea is that it's all it's like actual wrestling. Spoilers, everyone. It's predetermined. So like it's all about how do you make your match like the most entertaining it can be. Mm-hmm. You know, like as far as like, so it's built with that in mind, as opposed to like,
so do you like sit there and go, I'm gonna do a suplex, and then you roll for it?
Yeah, like it's interesting because it's like there's things you roll for that are like stuff you do in the ring, but then stuff outside the ring, like I'm gonna run into this match and interrupt it to like yeah, so it's like the whole it's very
do you have like a heat meter? How
yeah you have like you have heat with certain characters based on like
nice. I gotta talk to my to the guy I work with who's he's a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah, I mean we've just started, and so I'm not a rules expert, but it's pretty interesting.
Sounds interesting.
And, yeah, it's called Worldwide Wrestling.
Worldwide Wrestling.
Worldwide.
Brought to you by American Fudge.
Fudge.
Are you playing Worldwide Wrestling this weekend? Make sure you stock up on American Fudge. I don't know. I can't.
Fudge, yeah.
Fudge, yeah.
I mean, it's a really well thought out
ad campaign.
Yeah, American Fudge. No, Worldwide Wrestling, and the rule book's pretty easy to follow, actually, which I appreciate as an old man trying to play a role playing game I've not played before.
Do you like cakes, pies, and cookies? Well, go fudge yourself, buddy. Get some American Fudge.
This is American Fudge. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Somebody needs to get that domain now.
The wrestling game's great. It's fun.
Nice.
I was invited to a D&D.
I'm having trouble with our D&D campaign because we don't use Zoom. We're using Discord, which is voice only, and then Roll20, and it's hard. It lacks interaction, and what I've discovered is that D&D is great whenever you're all in the same room with each other, because you can distract yourself whenever you're not actively doing something. But over a voice only connection and a map, I've really realized that D&D is not a great strategic battle game. It's not it's just mechanically it's not a great game.
It's a pastime. It's like a thing you're doing to like spend time with other.
There are much better like mechanically working games that I would rather play than D&D.
Well, the good thing about the wrestling game doing it like over Zoom is, you know, you can play your entrance music, you can like change your background,
sure.
You know, so like if you're gonna, you know, do a promo, like you can get like the proper, like it's actually weirdly
you
like,
do promos.
Well, you have to.
You have to talk shit about the other.
Oh my god, that's awesome! That's all right. So, have you done a promo yet? Have you done?
No, I have not.
Oh, I can't. You have. I need to know what your promos are going to be. That's well. First of all,
and
I need
this
to know
needs
your
to be
wrestling.
Recorded, and we will play it in the next episode.
No. I think we should play this game live on the next episode of Around Comics. I'm willing.
This sounds amazing.
To play this game. Yeah, that would be. This sounds awesome. This sounds hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun.
Tom says that this hour a month commitment to this podcast is becoming more and I don't know if I can do this.
But he can do a wrestling RPG. I don't want to hear it. That's bullshit.
Let's get some wrestling in.
Wrestling. That's kind of fun. That's kind of so do you have a wrestler made yet?
I do, but I'm not going to spoil it yet. I'm still seeing how it's.
I'm not going to spoil it. He needs to.
Is there a premiere?
I'm workshopping some ideas. I'm not ready to.
Son, I am disappointed.
Yeah.
Well, I got invited to a Roll20 D&D game with a guy that I know, and then a bunch of people that I don't know. They invited me to their game, so we haven't started yet, but I'm excited because every D&D, like, I have not played D&D as a player in decades, and the last like 3 games that I've been involved in, I've always been the DM. Mm-hmm. And even when I was younger, like, I always seemed to be the DM because I was the only one willing to do it, you know. And nobody who wanted it sucks.
You're the only one that was going to read that much.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, because I wanted the game to happen. But so now I'm just going to be a player, and I think I'm going to make like a warlock, and I think I'm going to make him I was going to call him Koresh the Davidian, and he's trying to build a cult. And he's just he's going to go around and try and convince everyone that he meets to let him sleep with their wives and seed the planet with chosen ones, Davidians, so that when his master comes, you know, back, that
this is, you realize that this is the plot of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right?
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
You are Ego, the living planet.
No, I'm David Koresh. I'm building a cult. I want to make a cult. Yeah. So so I'm kind of excited. I'm just going to be annoying because the whole time the party's trying to like do the adventure, I'm just concerned.
Because DMs love that.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to take out 30 years of frustrations as a DM on this poor son of a bitch.
No, I'll make it. Well, here's the thing. You know, you were talking about the strategy of the game, how it's not a real good, mechanically a very good game. Yeah. But that's the part of Dungeons & Dragons I hate.
Oh, it's the boring part.
Yeah, I like the role-playing has always been my favorite part of it, so I'm looking forward to just role-playing. And I don't give a shit what happens, you know, like, you know, in the game as far as adventuring, if we succeed or fail. I just want to have fun. I just want to, you know, like, fuck around, and hopefully they're good role players. That's my biggest hope, that the party is good at, because that's the hard part. You have to have a DM that can role play, that can play all these characters, and it's a tough job, but if you can get them.
So we had a couple friends over to the backyard. We're lucky enough, we've got a nice big backyard. We had some friends over this weekend to appropriately social
breaking
distance.
The law.
No, it was small gathering, and we were safe about it, blah blah blah. But one of the guys is what for a while was I'm not going to say a professional DM, but he was a paid for dungeon master. He's a guy that people would go and hire to DM. And I'm just like, now is your time, because after all this stuff, it's
how much did he get paid?
I don't know, like $100 a session.
Oh, interesting.
Not worth it.
No, but interesting. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, you just said it. It's like you DM'd because you were the only one that had to put the work into it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there honestly is a market out there that, I mean, think about this. You run the same fucking campaign, your own campaign, but you run it 5 days a week with 5 different groups of players, and you make $100 a session.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
you're doing 2 hours, 3 hours a session.
You know, you're working 3 hours a night. making an extra $5 a week doing that. I mean, it especially now. I think that market is there. So someone out there take that. I'm sure there are tons of people that are already doing it. But
probably,
But
every wannabe voice actor that's not doing cartoons is just out there waiting to DM. That's how that one dude. What's his name?
From the Kickstarter one and the one
big
that's
nerd
thing,
nerd fest.
Those guys, Critical Role.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it
could be you, Sal.
No, could not be me. I don't have that kind of interest.
Brian Salazar, DM for sale.
Fuck that. I'm getting American Fudge off the ground.
Fudge, yeah.
Fudge, yeah. Fudge it. Go fudge yourself. Yeah.
Tom Caters is going to be the virtual Vince McMahon. He's going to be the WWE. What is it? WW what?
Can you be like a manager? Can you
be a manager?
Oh, yeah. Bobby the Brain Heenan kind of guy.
I love the Brain. It's sad. All those guys are dying now.
Well, they're all getting old.
They are getting old. There's a place. Tom, you're a Wisconsinite. You ever go to a place in Milwaukee called Vanguard? It's in Bayview.
I don't think so.
You would love Vanguard. Actually, Sal, when shit opens up after Tom reopens up the country, you have to come up. The place is known for its sausage. It's different sausages.
Wait, a place in Wisconsin known for sausage? No,
I know, fucking shocking, right? But you go. This place is Sal. You would love this place. It's fucking great beers and sausage, and on the big screen TVs behind the bar, always like 1980s WWF on. It's like vintage wrestling all the time.
Classic wrestling moments.
Place is fucking amazing.
I was gonna tell you about the coffee. I can't find it now. So the DM, the guy who is DMing this game, owns like a coffee company, like a craft coffee company, and they do all sorts of like nerd inspired coffees.
Nice.
I think it's called Smuggler's Coffee. That's what it's called. Smuggler's
Run.
Something like that. But they do like Dungeons and Dragons themed coffees. And I'm like, dude, you need to. I haven't really talked to him yet, but I'm like, you need to sponsor my podcast because it's perfect for the Around Comics crew. So they have like advanced science and sorcery, up to no good blend. They have the Dorks and Beans blend. They have
Chaotic Evil Dark.
Yeah, a Brew Hope, the Tomb of Caffeination.
Boo.
So there's like video games, Dungeons and Dragons, and pop culture stuff. Coffee branded, cultured coffee kind of thing. But so that's kind of neat. I don't know. I haven't tried them yet. So I told him to send me free coffee and I'd plug it. So there's your plug. Hopefully he'll send me some free coffee. Some free Smuggler's coffee.
I like it.
To go along with my San Francisco Bay coffee company.
So what else, as we approach the week here, what else are you guys doing to kind of survive life at home?
Drink.
Working out, trying to work out.
I'm fat. I'm having a drink here and then I'm off the booze for a while.
Oh yeah?
I'm getting fat. It's Marta and I both realize that our fat pants are getting tight. So
I've put on about 20 pounds in the last 6 months, but about 15 of that is muscle. So
yeah,
but it's frustrating because I keep getting heavier and heavier, but it's, I don't know what to do. I can't lose weight. I can't seem to lose any weight. I got to eat better, but I don't know.
Don't we all?
Right now, that's been tough. I tried, I went a good week of eating healthy, but it's fucking hard. My wife makes chocolate chip cookies.
I told you we watch Great British Baking Show every day, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That's there's an adverse effect to this. Marta's like, I'm going to bake.
Yeah. My son made bread from scratch the other day. It was delicious, but it's fucking bread. I can't eat bread.
Yeah. You know what I did today because I was bored? What? Made a margarita pizza. Because I was fucking bored.
Yeah. Well, it's the way it goes. It's the way it is.
Tom just has that vacant look right now.
Why am I not playing a wrestling RPG?
Why should be playing this wrestling game?
I should be playing wrestling.
No, guys, I just very tired.
Tired time.
All right. Well, so we'll plan this out. I can even go first because I can tell by your guys' determination here. I will do a for Tom King. We will do Comics 101. Let's make it like a 15-minute segment.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. We can't talk about fucking Roy Thomas and Neil Adams on the X-Men for 15 minutes?
No, of course we can, but I think that's cutting it. It's not giving them enough due. We used to do like an hour and a half.
All right, we'll make it a half hour. Fine.
I think we got to do it.
We'll make it a half hour.
Solid hour.
We'll make it a half hour.
Well, that's just Roy Thomas. From there. You can't do both in an hour, half hour.
I think there needs to be a quid quo pro here.
No, there doesn't.
No. Between us and King.
Oh, and Tom King.
So, what should his assignment be?
Well, I was trying to convince him to dress up in a disguise. I gave him the choice. He could either dress up as Nick Fury, or Funky Flashman, or Dick Grayson in the Grayson comics, and he had to infiltrate like Jim Lee's home and sneak out some top secret information about a project that he can't talk about.
How about this? I've got something a little bit
more feasible. More.
How about we challenge?
Why do you ask me if you have an answer already, Chris? How about you know what you want?
How about we challenge Tom King to come on and do a Comics 101 on Adam Strange?
Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Okay. I don't know if he has that kind of time, but we can try it.
I think we can steal him for a half hour.
Half hour of Adam Strange. I mean, he's got
hour of Comics 101 Adam Strange.
Okay. Well, all we can do is ask. Tom King, you have been challenged, sir. You have been challenged to give us a half hour.
And we won't even make him go first. I will do Roy Thomas, Neil Adams, X-Men.
All right.
My favorite X-Men run.
I will do I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Didn't you already say? Oh no, he's going to. What are you doing, Tom? I think Tom has replaced his picture with a screen cap of him sitting in front of his camera.
Just falling asleep. Steve Englehart, Justice League.
There, I've got this one in reserve.
Yeah. That's just as good. Hey, with like that, I might actually be able to ask our guests a question next time. So next time we have a guest on,
you asshole.
We got a comment. Oh wait, as long as we're here, let's read a comment I got on Instagram on our last episode.
Jesus.
Here we go. Let me just pull this up real quick. This was who gave us this? Oh, wait a minute, I lost it. No, I lost it. God damn it. Hold on a second.
Tom, what's your 101 going to be on?
Steve Englehart, Justice League with Dick Dillon.
All right. Say 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a friendship. What does it say? Friendship Paradox Comic. That's the screen name on Instagram. Friendship Paradox Comic. Commented on our Tom King episode. He said, "This was a fun episode. It's great to hear Tom being a fan of the show. Although, I think every time Sal wanted to ask something, Chris changed the subject." Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. Now I figured out that I can mute Chris though, so I can just, if I need to, I can just mute him and ask whatever I want and finally get my question.
I'm also drinking less before we record.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
It's this is the Whole Foods 365 ginger sparkling water.
Ding.
There you go.
Ginger water. You like it? Is it like ginger ale kind
Not
of?
bourbon.
It's that. I just bought a couple of new bottles. I got a couple.
I know. Yeah.
See,
we record late in the evening, folks, and sometimes on Tuesday, and Daddy needs his medicine.
All right, I think Tom's
out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out, guys.
I think that's all we got for this week, guys.
You got all of me. That's all you got,
right.
man.
All right. Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you too.
All right. Remember, stay strong, America first, and open the shit back up.
Open this shit up.
American Fudge, yeah. This episode
down to your
Fudge.
Brought to you by
Fudge,
American
yeah.
Fudge.
Get down to your fudge branch.
Get some fudge in you. Pack some fudge in you, man.
Yeah.
Be a patriot.
Get down to your local fudge. Get that American fudge.
Get that in you. It's good in you. It's good and American.
All right, we'll see you next week, bud.
Yeah.
You remember you can reach us at www.aroundcomics.com. You can email us at info@aroundcomics.com. You can get us on Twitter and Instagram at aroundcomics. If you want to help the show, if you'd like to contribute to the show, you can go to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/aroundcomics and help support the show there by buying us a cup of coffee. Or you could
we should set up a Venmo.
Yeah, we could do that. You can go to aroundcomics.com/shop, and I'm putting some t-shirts, some Around Comics logo t-shirts and stuff up there soon. So we're gonna have some gear you could buy from us soon if you want to help out the show, because this shit costs money. I gotta fucking pay for Zoom a month. I gotta pay for a goddamn website and Libsyn, and you motherfuckers. Not you motherfuckers. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to those motherfuckers. Those other motherfuckers.
Those other assholes.
But yeah, if you'd like to help support the show, you can do that at those places.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all we're looking. Self-sustainability.
Yeah, exactly. We want to shrink our footprint.
Yes, we want to be carbon neutral. So like $5, carbon neutral.
During every episode, I burn 1 gallon of gasoline. Just in the background, just a barrel of oil burning.
And and along the lines of what Tom said, he wanted to bring back a segment, the 101s.
Oh Jesus. I had the outro going, and I had to turn it off because Chris is going in.
What?
I thought we were ending the show. I thought that was the end of the show, and you're.
No, I was.
You said goodbye to me.
Intro yet? I was gonna say, hey, Tom King gave us a suggestion, and we're gonna run with it. So yeah, whatever you think you might want to hear, send it as a suggestion. We may not do it, but would love to hear from you. All right, guys. We'll get together here soon. In the meantime,
in between time.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
be everywhere. Nice, Sal.
Wait, do it again. Just do it again. Just start it over.
Start over. We'll do it live.
In the meantime.
In between time,
we'll be everywhere in
and around
comics. Jesus.
Bill O'Reilly.
This is hard to do live. It just doesn't work. Doesn't work.
No, it's good. It's good. I like it.
Do it live.
Do it live. We'll do it live.
Comics. Comics.